They told me that Rob was dying and that he wouldn't make it.
It's 8 years ago.
Just thought, what if he doesn't recognise me? What if he doesn't remember who I am?
And I'm just doing what I hope someone would do for me.
I'm Syreeta.
I'm Robert. Oh, Rob. Sorry.
Very formal.
Hello.
Hello, Robert. We met whilst living and working in Hong Kong.
It was amazing.
We would work hard, but we'd play hard. I worked in fashion and product development, and you worked in...
Experience. No.
Kind of.
Experience. Experience? User experience.
Yeah. On the 27th of September 2014, everything stopped. We were on the second day of a holiday in Sydney, and I remember looking at the digital alarm clock and it said exactly 8 o'clock. Rob was stumbling around, almost trying to pound away the pain, just stumbling around this hotel room, clutching his head. I immediately thought, oh, he's having a stroke. Rob suffered a seizure and collapsed. He'd lost consciousness and had stopped breathing and was choking on vomit. They told me that Rob was dying and that he wouldn't make it. So that rabbit shape there, that's the bleed. It's like the size of my hand.
Is it still going? Is it still there? Or has it gone smaller?
So they cleaned this up when they operated on you. They took all the blood away, but unfortunately that space is damaged now.
It's 8 years ago.
The severity of the brain hemorrhage that Rob had, he's going to be in an induced coma until he wakes. So that was a very strange time, and I just felt incredibly frightened. Was when Rob came round successfully. Just thought, what if he doesn't recognise me? What if he doesn't remember who I am? What if all of this is just gone? He tried to turn his head and looked to me and smiled the most beautiful smile and looked me in the eye, and I knew he was there. I knew he remembered me. I just thought, okay, we'll do this.
And I had a wheelchair, and Syreeta was going, 1 year, it'll be okay, 1 year. So I said, right, okay, wheelchair, gym, but not quite.
There was physio time factored in, there was speech and language factored in, and it was all very intense.
Yeah.
But you thrived.
My speech, it was nothing.
It literally was like, this is a pen. We had to start again. Also, he can't see out of his right eye and part of his left. But because of Rob's background and I guess the way that we were together, I thought, well, if he can't talk, then perhaps he can draw. We started with simple shapes, and I drew a triangle, a circle, and a square.
Yeah.
And I said, now you try. I thought, we're onto something here. That's how we started to communicate. Do you remember we were sat watching TV? Was it a Victoria's Secret advert that you saw? Rob asked to learn to kiss again.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realise how much my body needed it and that we still fancied each other. In the intensive care unit, the nurses encouraged me to get photos to pin up to remind him of people. But I couldn't find a photo of his dad. And I remember Rob telling me that his dad used to look a bit like Tom Jones. So I printed out a photo of Tom Jones in the set. It was quite obvious that life in Hong Kong was over. We ended up going back to Lincoln.
It struggles every day or every week. It's really tough. Crying, tough, but always laughter as well. And of course, Grayson.
He's a miracle baby.
Completely.
Intimacy post-stroke is obviously different. It's not like it happens very often, or it's very different. He's our future with a capital F. It's given us something to see beyond what's happened to us.
And now I'm thinking, right, Grayson is 3. I need another change.
It'll take time.
Yeah, I know.
We're considering getting a micro provider in terms of someone who can support Rob with daily tasks, whether it be doctor's appointments, going to an art class.
Yeah.
That's something else we're thinking about, Rob. Getting a bit more independence and getting back out into the world again.
lobster, the clams. Yeah.
Yarrow.
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 If you sing it, it sometimes
Yarrow.
comes a bit better.
Before, I was thinking I can do design and stuff like that, but then I can't do it. It's my frustration and stuff like that. It's too much. I don't know how to do it. But now, the flowing and beautiful, it's lovely.
So it's not just healing and therapy anymore, it's potentially a way of you working, earning.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're partially sighted as well. This was just what blows my mind, that you can't see and yet you still create such beauty. So do you still have to draw to tell me things?
Oh yeah.
I'll get a little post-it note of like a drawing of shaving gel or something that you want me to get from the shop when you're not sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because some days as well as my brain just completely gone. So I'm thinking in the vision of my brain hollowed.
I've had some really dark days, especially at the very beginning when Rob needed 24/7 care. I was 32 when this all happened, so that's quite a young age to become a full-time carer. If you're not careful, you can lose who you are in all of it.
She's done everything else for me, but not for you. You know, like now that's good for, you know, swimming.
I'm slowly getting myself back. I guess because the water's so cold, it's like this pointed moment of clarity where I can't think of anyone else apart from myself and just breathing. Love is the only way.
I'm just doing what I hope someone would do for me. And it is hard. It's not always easy and it's not always love and light, but actually the love is what keeps you going.
It was such a catastrophic bleed and no one ever thought he would come back from it to where we are now. Like 8 years on, we're living independently, we've started a family, we've eloped to be married, now able to have a little bit of independence from each other rather than be 24/7 carer. It's huge. That's all down to love. That's all that we had. We're at a point now where I'm trying to establish myself again in the workplace. I've set up my own platform to support others. I use a recording platform where I send a link to the guest. I think there's something about the intimacy of just the voice being heard. There's a quote by the ancient poet Hafiz called "Nothing evolves us like love." Yeah. And I think that just epitomises everything that we've been through over the last 8 years. We honour Rob's brain hemorrhage. We call it Rob's new birthday and have done from the very beginning. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, I'll get it.
From the very first anniversary, we wanted to mark it and celebrate it, that like Rob's here for another day. But then I think as you get more distance from that catastrophic moment, it's almost like it gets a bit harder and darker to process all of that. There's the grief of the life that we then could have had, or the grief of the life that we have missed out on. It's really complex and intertwined with a lot of joy. Rob shouldn't be here. If you listen to what the doctor said, if you look at his scan on paper, none of this was possible. So yeah, we are living proof that love heals, that creativity heals.